Number two thing most search for is feeling welcomed and a friendly environment. Feeling welcomed and a friendly environment. 79% of those who are searching feel like being welcomed by leaders was a key factor. Very important. So, what does welcoming look like in your church? If you're a smaller attendance church, you're not going to have a big cafe or a big welcome center or some of those kind of things. You might have some banners. You might have a small welcome table in the vestibule somewhere of your church. If you're a small church plant, you may have some ways of doing that. But what do you do? What is it that you intentionally do to help people feel welcomed? Very important. Now, how do you help those first-time guests come to your congregation? How do you help those first-time guests feel like they're at home without compromising your gospel message? What do you do? Well, there are a couple of things you can do kind of practically that help your people to understand, particularly if you're in like an open country rural congregation. Many of the people who come to your church, even if it's a small congregation, what we call a SAC church, a smaller attendance church, in that kind of church, oftentimes you have multiple generations of families, 2, 3 generations of families within the congregation. They all know each other. So when they come to church, whether it be for Bible study or for worship, they just kind of assume, hey, I know people. And if somebody new comes in, oftentimes they're overlooked. I mean, I have actually sat in worship services. This has happened multiple times where they go and start the worship service. And then sometimes, and this isn't as common now as it was a few years back, but they'll have a welcome time or a greeting time. And people take that opportunity and turn and greet their friends and family and others around them. And I've watched first-time guests stand and have people walk all around them to greet people and never greet them. So much so, I've even seen people who have been ignored for so long, they finally just sit down while people are still greeting around them. That is not a welcoming environment. So as a pastor or a church leader, you can help your people understand that. Now, I've used something that's really simple, and I've used it in many congregations to try to help them get this mentality of make sure to welcome the outsider. Make sure and welcome the outside guest. It's simply this. I call it the 2 + 2 + 2. It's a 2 + 2 + 2 strategy. The first 2 minutes that you're on the property, in the building, in the sanctuary, wherever it may be, the first 2 minutes you're there, you try to find at least 2 people who you don't know, 2 people who are new, and you go up to greet them. And when you greet them, you don't have to have a long, in-depth conversation. Ask them, do you live in the area? Excuse me, do you live in the area? Do you work close by? Etc. There are lots of questions you can ask. And then that's the 2 + 2. And then the third 2 is after you introduce yourself to these people and just a few niceties, getting to know them, then make sure and introduce them to at least 2 other people. Now, here's how that kind of works. You're meeting, let's just say it's a couple that's a guest, and you come up and you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Bobby. Good to meet you. You guys new in the area? Well, yeah, we just bought a house. Oh, that's great. Well, what kind of work do you do? Have you already working? Well, yeah, I'm a school teacher and I'm da 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 da. Okay, well, immediately that triggers in my head, oh, I know Bill or Sue or John over here. They also are school teachers in one of the local schools. And I go, oh, well, have you met Bill? He's a school teacher over at so-and-so school. And they go, well, no, I don't. Hey, Bill, come here a second. Let me introduce you to somebody. Now, you call them over, introduce them to these new people. Now, what have you done? Every time you do that, you have shown this new person that they are so valuable that you want to make sure and introduce them to one of your other friends. Now, they come over and they start a conversation and meet. Now, hopefully you can find a second person that can connect with them. And if it's not with something common like that, you say, oh, well, have you met John, or have you met Sue, or whatever? And say, well, I want you to meet them. Again, you're affirming their importance, their value, and how glad you are to have them there by introducing them to somebody else. It's just a simple kind of way of helping people to feel welcome and creating a friendly environment, which you do by helping to train your people to be intentional, to be conscious all the time of meeting and greeting new people.